Welcome to the Unscripted podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Conrad, and this show is where we hear the real stories from real people changing the world. From everyday people to the top celebrities, all the conversations are real, raw, and always unscripted. Thank you for joining me today. Now let's get to today's guest. Unscripted one-on-one with Eddie. All the surprise. I think I'm out of surprises. There may be a few others, but there was a lot of others that wanted to join. And like I said, man, a lot of folks love you. They're so proud of you, including myself. Been so proud of you, and it's so good to just see all your success because you're always real good to me, man. I think even that picture back in the old gym, you were good to me, and I just I appreciate you. I'm so happy for you.
No, I'm proud of you. Yeah, dude, man. We're still here doing our things, and what is even more beautiful, I think, it just, of course, recounting stories of the past, but we're here to talk about the future as well,
Right.
and you have a platform that you're using, and I see it, and this is important. I'm happy to be able to have a conversation about what we've seen and what we want to see going forward. So
Right. Which I think is why I want to jump on with you. I know it's late where you are. You got a few more minutes?
yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So I think I might actually split this into two segments. There was the "This is your life" conversation, and then there was the "Me and you" conversation. And I know we've shared some stuff before. I remember when Ferguson happened, I reached out to you to give me your right, and I my heart as a person, and I'm troubled, man. I'm troubled, right? I'm troubled because we grew up in the same place, as Darren Carter said, but not the same way, and
Right.
that was powerful to me. And I know what's funny. I was thinking about this today. What's funny is I think if we wrote down who we are as people, if people looked at those two sheets, they'd never put these two pieces of paper together. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I do not, and I'm not bragging, man. It's just, I don't know any different. That's how I know you is I don't care about
Right.
all that.
Yeah.
So, so to tell you, I had a, and this is an announcement that may or may not, I didn't make an official announcement, but I had a sponsor drop me this week, and their email, all kindness to their, again, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not mad. I want every people to hear this. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Their reasoning was that my level of guest goes against their support of the LGBT community. And I found it sad, one, but I also found it, um,
Wow.
here's what, and again, I'm not mad, Eddie. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. I'm
Sure.
disappointed, and I'm not disappointed in them. Good
Hmm.
for them. Support who you want to support. I truly believe that.
Right.
But I'm sad that we have to choose our sides, right? We have to choose our camp.
Right.
And Darren Carter said some great stuff. And another thing he said was, as we were growing up, there was, there's two sides, and then there was the middle. And
Yeah.
he said I tended to be me being in the middle of that two sides. I wasn't, that
Sure.
middle seems to be getting smaller, and those two sides seem to be getting larger.
Right.
And I guess it's my job, or my goal would be, let's push that back, man. Let's not do that. Let's
Yeah.
make the middle bigger again, to where we're not arguing. So anyway, that's my rant.
Kind
What
of
do you
finding
think?
um that middle is, it's a safe space, but it should be an honest space. And I think that it's this is a huge conversation,
Absolutely.
and I think that the foundation of what we've grown up in as America um, was never fair. It's never been equal, and from many perspectives, it's never been, for disadvantaged communities. It has never been an equal space. that could mean, you know, for Black, for white, for gay, for straight. It's always been divided. And if you remember, even growing up, you know, I don't know, in Maple Heights or in Bedford, neighborhoods were always segregated for us, you know, in
Right.
Ohio. You know, there was whatever, whether it be the Italian neighborhood, there was the Black neighborhood, you know, maybe there was the Chinese neighborhood, you know. And so, but what I do remember is that growing up and being young, those things didn't matter to us.
Nope.
It didn't matter, Aaron. They didn't matter. We matured into understanding what the system was, what that system that was created for us, but that really didn't matter, you know. I was aware that I was growing up, you know, a Black boy that became a Black man. You know, there were certain situations and things that happened where I was made, it was very clear to me that, you know, it wasn't always equal. But you know, the spaces and the love that we shared was something neutral, you
Right.
know. And you know, as much as it breaks my heart to see so much division, the conversation is important,
It
and
is.
conversation and action, we learn. And I work at exterior of being a fashion designer and creating my own collection and working for other brands. I teach a lot, and I teach for many reasons. Yes, I teach fashion design as well. Um, I teach a master's course in creating knitwear. But what is important to me is to have a connection with young minds and young thought. And because I actually end up learning a lot more probably from them than they actually do from me. You know, I always approach dealing with youth and the students for that matter is an exchange. And I'm there and I come with a perspective, I come with experience, and and they come with fresh ideas, new thought, and conflict also. And oftentimes the conflict for us is what kind of brings us together. And I think that there is for our future, there is a light, you know, at the end of a long tunnel. But I'm sure of it. I'm working on a lot of um, working with a lot of groups and programs, and here in Italy, dealing with what we call Afro-Italians. Afro-Italians or first and second generation Italians that are born here um, by descent or from African families. Their first language is Italian, but they're still treated as Africans. They're not treated as Italians.
Mm.
So imagine me, you know, like you, being raised in Ohio, speaking the same language, you know, understanding the same things, but being treated very differently than you would be treated. And this is where we have the conflict. And so we have to ask questions. We have to um, propose ideas. We have to understand, you know, how we can walk hand in hand parallel to see the better future. You know, it may not be in our time, it may be tomorrow, but I'm here to make sure that the tomorrow, which I may not be a part of, is going to be a very different space than maybe what we experienced.
Right. Well, and that was my thing is, you know, I don't care about a sponsor. What I do care about is a better day. I want to live better days. I want us all to, here, like the Goo Goo Dolls, not on 92.3, by the way. Maybe, I don't know. But no, one of their great lyrics was, you know, here's hoping we all live to see better days. And when a sponsor doesn't drop you, and again, I'm not bitter. I don't mean that by that. I'm just using an example that a sponsor doesn't drop you because they think that because you've had a few people on that were Christian, um, and again, we never, honestly, 45 episodes, I've never said, nobody has ever said not a thing about the LGBT community, not one thing. And maybe that's the bad thing. Maybe I need to have somebody on that does. I don't know, but really, like that was because there's been a Christian bent.
Do you think that
I'm not mad? I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
No, but do you think that's a reason for dropping? I'm not sure. I mean, I think, listen, I am a firm believer in my life, in the way that I live my life. And I think in the way that everyone should live their life, to live and breathe in honesty. And honesty means we don't have to answer to anything in terms of how we choose to live our lives and what we choose to be in life. When we were talking about that safe space in the middle before, that safe space in the middle for me is being, yes, honest, but it's also being able to share and understand difference.
Right. Right.
And we have to meet in that space. I'm not, we haven't seen each other in how many years? How many years has it been? It's
30,
almost like
30, maybe. I don't even know.
We can sit here and we can have this conversation as adults. What's gone, 30 years is a lot of time to recount, a story. And of course we have social media where we can catch up with each other, and see what's going on in life, and we can kind of watch inside, watch what's going on the other side. But I don't necessarily know what's going on in the undercurrents of your life, and you don't know what's going on. But
Sure.
But we're here, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we're having this conversation. And life is precious and beautiful, and I don't think you have to. Of course, as you said, you're not bitter, but I don't think you have to necessarily, the way that you're developing, your network and your conversation is the way that you're doing it. I mean, they can choose to watch it, or they can choose not to watch it.
Right. And that's it. Like I said, I'm not mad. Say again.
It seems unfair, no?
Maybe. I don't know. And I don't, I got an email, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed, and I'm not even disappointed in them. I'm disappointed in that's where we are today. That we have to choose our sides, or feel like we have to dig our heels in and defend something that clearly they didn't know. Right. that this is, I'm just getting started, and clearly, and it's a lesson to me. Maybe I need to have different guests on. Maybe I need to spread the variety. It's unscripted. I'm not particular, there's going to be a bent because that's where I live a lot of my life, but it doesn't mean that I'm not willing to have the conversation like we are now, or any other tough conversation, because that's where it starts. That's where we're going to get better, is when we stop yelling at each other and we start listening to one another, and we start understanding as best we can. And this is something Darren and I talked about. I can't understand what that's like. I can't, I can't, but I can at least try to empathize and give grace and understand as best I can what you or anyone else may be walking through, and the same for you to me, and that's why we can talk 30 years later. That, we at the end of the day, man, I've always loved Eddie, and I've always, now it's Edward, because you're big time now. You're big time now. You got P. Diddy in your phone. But no, I've always loved Edward.
It's like the first time in a long time that I've been called Eddie so much. Huh? I forgot it was Eddie.
Well, my bad.
Well, no, right. My mom and my brother still call me Eddie. My relatives call me Eddie. My friends call me.
Well, I'm in the midst of royalty, and so I need to I need to bow and give all due respect to Edward Buchanan, who will forever be my friend. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of everything you're doing. Hopefully I know this wasn't your typical or my typical Unscripted, where we sit down and you tell your whole story, but I feel like you got to weave your story in a lot of it. And I really wanted, you to know how much we all miss you and how proud we are of you. And there were other guests, they just couldn't be here today, but there was quite a list. It was going to get actually probably a little annoying of all the people coming into the Zoom, but man, we're really proud of you. Thanks for doing Bedford well. Thanks for man, thanks for loving me as your friend.
Bedford's done me well, but Bedford's done us well. You know, I mean,
True.
I always say, with all of I'm in my thought process. There's no shame. I'm very open in talking experiences and the experiences that I've had, the experiences that I've lived through, what I've learned from those experiences, what I became as a result of those experiences. I mean, I am from Ohio. I was born, bred, and raised in Ohio, and it's a place that I love, and the experiences that I've had, I loved. I've become an adult and a man, so my experiences there and what I learned made me what I am today. So I can't complain about the experience and the foundation that I had in Ohio, because without that, I think I wouldn't be able to recount any kind of story. It all drives back to that point.
Well, I want to do another round sometime. I do. I want to do another round, and I really want you to get into your real story. And I think we've woven it in and out of this. And I know this was a little different, maybe even than you had planned, but I hopefully it was special for you. I wanted it to be special, and I wanted you to really know how proud we are of you and how much we miss you. But I do want to get you on again because I want to hear about this guy. So I asked this guy to come on, and he says, I'd love to come on, but I'm at Fashion Week in Paris. Like, that's something I can't even get my head around. Literally. So I want you to come on and tell like that whole story of what is life like? I mean, what a life that must be, or living, where you are living and what the culture. There's so many other questions I have for you, but I know we've run a lot of time and it's very late where you are. And so I'm not trying to kick you off, but I do want to do this again, and hopefully we'll do it again very, very soon.
It's funny that you say it's late here, but it is late here. But I'm gonna actually soon pop off the line, and I'm gonna just grab a little fast thing to eat, and I got to do a bit more drawing before tomorrow because I have meetings. So
don't let me take you anymore.
Late to bed.
Don't let me take you anymore, man. I love you, Edward. I'm so thankful for you and our friendship. And, you taught me a lot. Besides, there's more to life than 92.3. Our experiences together were wonderful. I cherish them. And I'm so thankful for your time, and hope you enjoyed this tonight.
I really enjoyed it. And you stand strong and know that what you're doing is in honest and beautiful space. And the critiques that are coming from the outside serve, but you're doing the right thing, Aaron.
Yeah. Well, I love you, man. Let's talk again. Let's do this again soon. Okay. Be well.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.